Perek Ches ve'odzos b'maychalus asuros, and further, a concept within the forbidden foods, shelakach nikrayim b'shem isur, that for this reason they're called tied down, mipnei she'af mi she'achal maychal isur b'lo huda, that is even somebody who ate a forbidden food without even knowing it, l'shem shamayim, and he ate it for the sake of heaven, la'avod havaya b'koach achila hahi, to serve Hashem with the strength of that food. V'gam Paul v'asaken, and they even accomplished and did that. V'korav hispalel b'koach achila hahi, and read Torah and davened with the strength of that eating. Ein hachayos sheba'ola mislabeshes b'tevus haTorah v'atfilah kamo haheter. So the life force that's in it, in this not forbidden food, does not go up and is not enclosed within these letters of Torah and prayer, like the permissible food would, mipnei isura b'yedei hasitra achra, because it's tied down in the hands of the other side, mishalosh klipos hatameos, from the three impure klipos, vafilu hu isur d'rabbanan, and even if it's something that's forbidden from the rabbis, shechamurim divrei sofrim yosem divrei Torah chulu, because we have a rule that the words of the sages are more stringent than the words of the Torah, so it applies to that as well. And therefore, the bad inclination, and the strength to desire for forbidden things, it's a, like, so to speak, non-Jewish shindalid, like a non-Jewish demon. That's like the bad inclination of the nations of the world, that their souls come from the three impure klipos, which is not the case with the bad inclination and the strength to desire for permissible things, simply to fulfill one's desires, and it's like a Jewish demon, so to speak, because it can go back and return to holiness, like we explained. But before it goes back to holiness, it is actually still on the other side, and a klippa. The klippas nogan itself is a klippa. And even so, afterwards, a residue from this desire, even for permissible things, remains, clings to the body. Lihiyos kimikol Michael Mashkenasa tekef damu basar kibisaro mibisaro, because anytime you eat any kind of food or drink, becomes immediately blood and flesh of your flesh. And that's why the body needs this hitting in the grave, this purgatory of the grave, so to speak, to cleanse it and purify it from its impurity, that are received from having pleasure on this world, and its various delicacies. Mitumas klipas noga, that comes from the impurity of the klipas noga, v'shedin Yehudayin, and the Jewish demons. Unless you're a person that didn't have any benefit from this world, call Yamav their entire life, Rabbeinu HaKadosh, like Rabbeinu HaKadosh, who wrote the Mishnah. Yeah, they called him Rabbeinu HaKadosh because he did not have pleasure from this world. And what about the words? So that's in actions and in food. What about words that are forbidden or permissible, but not l'shem shamayim? Things that you're not speaking divrei Torah, but in a permissible way. Like, for example, a simpleton that isn't able to learn. So that still in impurity, they have to purify their soul from this klippa, through the soul's turning around and in the Kaf HaKela, to their soul going back through this sort of process of the slingshot. In Kaf HaKela. Parshas Peshalach Daf Nun Tes. So that's the Chibut HaKever on the Kaf HaKela. Avali Diburim Asurim. But for forbidden words, K'mu Leitzanus V'Lashon Hara, like scoffing and saying bad things about others, Behem and the like, Shen Mishalosh Klipos Hatameos Legamre, which are from the three completely impure Klipos. Ein Kaf HaKala Lavado Moel Tayr Lahavir Mitumaso. So the Kaf HaKela itself, this slingshot, cannot help to purify and to wipe away the impurity, Mahanefesh, from the soul, Rak Tzricha Liyered Legehinom, but it has to go down, soul has to go down to the Gehinom. So that's for forbidden things. V'chein mi she'efshar lo la'asok b'Torah ve'osik b'dvarim b'telim. So too, someone who's able to study Torah, but instead is involved in forbidden things without meaning, even if they're permissible, but because you could have studied Torah, not like the Am Haaretz, but somebody who could have studied Torah, but instead did other things, so you don't get that permission like the Am Haaretz does. Ein Kaf HaKala Lavado Moel Nafsho. So the slingshot itself does not help your soul to cleanse it and purify it, Rak Onshim Chamurim, but rather strict punishments, Shemani Shimal Bittul Torah, that these punishments are for not studying Torah bepratus, in particular, Milvad Onesh HaKlali L'chol Bittul Mitzvos Aseh, aside from the general punishment that one gets for not fulfilling a positive commandment, Machmas Atzlus, because of laziness, B'Gehinom Shel Sheleg, in the Gehinom of snow, so to speak. So there's the hot Gehinom and the cold Gehinom, and the cold Gehinom is for laziness, and the hot Gehinom is for heating yourself up, and so forth. As explained in another place, so to somebody who studies the wisdom of the nations, is also considered meaningless words, that like here, when discussing this idea of the sin of not studying Torah, that you can't get off by saying, I was studying the wisdom of the nations. Like it says in the laws of the Torah study, and further, Yesera Tumasa Shel Chachmas Umos Al Tumas Dvarim Betelim, the impurity of the wisdom of the nations has a further impurity more than simply meaningless words. That the meaningless words only enclose and make impure the emotions. Misod haruach hakadosh benafsho, from the holy wind that's in one's soul. Halokis betumas klipas noga, with the impurity of the klipas noga. Shebedvarim betelim, that are in these meaningless words of, so to speak, wind. Habayim Yisod HaRuach, they come from that fundamental element of the wind. So we explained before the concept of the pleasures in this world, that comes from the water. We explained the concept of the laziness, I guess, that comes from the atzlus, the laziness, that would, I guess he didn't mention it, but it might come from the earth. And now he's mentioning the concept of ruach, the Dvarim Betelim, and Chochmas HaUmos. So the Dvarim Betelim Habayim Yisud HaRuach Harash Beklipazu, the impurity of the Klipas Noga that's in these words of meaningless words, that comes from the fundamental element of wind that's in this Klippa. benafsho bahamis in one's animalistic soul, like we said, v'lo b'chinas chabad benafsho. But the dvarim betelim do not make impure the intellectual properties of chachma bin das in the soul, ma'ach Hashem divrei shtus uborus, because they are words of foolishness and simpletons. That even the crazy people and the simpletons are able to speak in that way. Which is not the case with the wisdom of the nations, who it gives an impurity to the divine soul in the Chochmah Bina Das, the intellectual wisdom, understanding, and knowledge, betumas klipas noga, with this impurity of the klipas noga, shebechochmos elu, that are in these wisdoms, shenoflu shama b'shviras hakelim, that fell there with the breaking of the vessels, bechinas achoraim shel chochmah de kedusha, from the external concept of the wisdom in holiness. Kidul yodechein, as is known to those who know Kabbalah. Now, in general, the shvira happened in the midos, and the wisdom and understanding and knowledge were not affected by the shvira, but we're not able to elevate them yet until we elevate and fix the midos and the shvira that happened in them. So the concept of klipas noga is that you can use it for holiness. So if you use the wisdom of the nations as an axe to cut with, that is in order to have a livelihood from them, and you get the payment from that in order to serve Hashem, or you know some way to use this wisdom on its own in order to serve Hashem, or its Torah. And that's the reason that the Rambam and the Ramban and those who helped them, that they were involved in the wisdom of the nations, the Greek philosophy and mathematics and so forth, that they knew how to elevate it from the Klipas Noga, and it's specifically someone on their level who's able to do that